50 feet.
You could in fact move 50 feet.
I'd be so fast.
You certainly would. You'd be
And then I could
almost
take
a monk.
Then I could take mounted combatant and ride Lami into battle.
The creature has to be one size larger than you.
I could be small.
He's old.
I am old.
You have enlarge. You don't have enlarge reduce.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Is there a feat for that, Chris?
There should be.
You're like, ooh, what if I get smaller?
Tiny Ronin is the worst because he still hits at the same strength.
It's like Ant-Man. Whack!
You just watch as this guy's just like, he's walking around and all of a sudden Ronan just grabs him by the ankle and just throws him.
Boom, boom, boom.
No, Ronan's just, some big guy coming after Ronan. Ronan's just like, nope.
He just runs past Ronan, grabs him by the belt and just yeets him across the street. Anyway, hello and good evening and welcome to the Ashe and Jade Committee, where we are short our regular Chaos Gremlin, so we brought our own Chaos energy to this week. Josh is currently coming back from visiting some family, and his flight was delayed because the planet is slowly dying, and weather doesn't make sense anymore. So
Buzzkill. Okay.
yeah,
cool.
sorry, I'm upset about it, and I needed to share. That's on me. But yeah, so this week we are short a Josh. However, we do have my lovely companion, my lovely friends. I got Rachel. I got Chris. You got me. You're stuck with me. The whole story exists up here. You're stuck with me until someone can copy it out of my noggin.
Chris does that anyway.
Copy it out of my
Mix it
noggin?
up?
Yeah,
Yes.
unfortunately he does. Chris, you called like 4 of my last plot hooks, and I'm like, God damn it.
Did you call the time travel, Chris?
I think so.
I don't think you called time travel. You have been hyper fixated on the moon.
I haven't heard. Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway.
The moon. It's made of cheese.
But anyway, before Chris infects us all with Savathun's song, it's fine. That's a Destiny thing. Don't worry about it. But Josh is not here. But his sponsorship still is. This episode at the Ashe and Jade Committee is brought to you by Shackler Woodworking, purveyor of all fine woodworking products, including dice trays and bread boxes and doors and cabinets and all kinds of things. And also, if you go to Shackler Woodworking, you can get stickers. We have cool stickers. You can get any one of these individual flavors you would like, or you can be real cool and get the whole bundle. And there is a discount code. If you use 5% chance, that is 5, the percent sign chance, at checkout, you get 10% off, because 5% off doesn't do much for shit anymore. That barely compensates for inflation. I'm sorry, that's 2 very real things in a row. So we're going to go back into our fantasy game. When last we left off, our intrepid heroes, you all had found your way via Dragonback to the lair of one Yati the Light Eyes, Yati the Voice of the Falling Sky, and his partner, husband, very good roommate, Tannel.
They were roommates.
History will remember them as roommates if they ever die. Because Yati has placed his age at least a millennia or 2. And Tannel seems to be close to that for being just a very, very vanilla-looking human. But the 3 of you and your 2 companions, Adam and Evelyn as well, who have been very, very, keeping themselves very, very quiet and very distant in this place. They are keeping a low profile, but they've tagged along. You were all sat down in the sitting room and basically given an opportunity to chat with the ancient brass dragon and his partner about some of the mysteries that you guys have found out or been asking questions about. Since I know there is a document that has this information, what kind of things did y'all find out was very interesting and important?
Did you move your microphone further in front of your face? I was reading chat. And
I did. I saw the instructions from chat, and I acquiesced. Hello.
Very good.
Hello. Is this better? I will be right here. This is an ASMR.
You got like
stream.
17 volumes louder.
No ASMR today. Sorry.
Why is your microphone so like, I'm close, I'm close?
As yours does probably the same
As yours
thing.
does, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good microphone, Chris.
Oh, is that how it works?
What?
Wait, so should I put the microphone inside the drum when I play it? Is
Yes.
Yes.
that okay?
Isn't that how kicked? Anyway. Hi, it's Wednesday. I'm very happy to see everybody.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
So,
Uh,
yes. Tell me, Chris, tell me a thing that you found was very important from your conversations last week.
The blue lady whose name is Savathun. Nope.
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 Bungie's not going
Why,
to sue us like Disney would, but I would like to stay on their good side.
Hieva. Blue bitch. Time circle clocks. Reforged Lamis. I was trying to figure out what I wrote down in my notes. The dead zone is a crater 1/4 mile across. Green glow from space. That was something fun that I learned.
Yeah. Rachel,
From the moon.
what's a fun thing that you learned?
Oh God. There's 4 pages of typed notes.
I like how Chris references his handwritten notes, even though there is a Google Doc that has everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Hey. Look. Hey. He's taking notes.
He is, and
am.
I'm not trying. I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
took 4 pages of notes, but to be fair, my 4 pages of notes is probably like 3 sentences in Rachel's nice handwriting. Oh yeah, definitely. I do have written bird people ?
Oh yeah,
What's
they're
that
gone.
about? What the fuck is up with that? As they say.
As they say on that one other popular show that airs on Thursdays.
Yep.
It's not Thursday.
The Fall
yet.
of Mortu?
Yeah.
Shit, what a plug. Fuck, inspiration, because I'm like
Yay!
corporate bound to, if you plug our show, it goes in for the corporation. Fucker.
So now if he laughs and if we plug another show, we got this game on lock.
We are, Chris. We're gonna be just fine tonight.
Now, if
We're
only I
great.
could move more than 20 feet.
You know, there's a feat for that. I hear.
There is. I can move
if you
25
weren't
feet.
ancient.
That's not my fault. I tried my best, and so did you.
Yeah. I guess I don't know how to pick between. There is a big wish made by a bunch of wizards and spell people to just erase the war from the Underdark War from history.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Abridgement, and somebody's trying to rip the Band-Aid off, which means time travel somehow is in here.
Don't worry, we haven't found a DeLorean yet.
Don't worry, I did confirm off stream that we are not the time travelers. I got panicked for a hard second. I'm like, are we?
Technically,
evil
we
ones?
are.
Are
We
we
all
the
travel
bad
through
ones?
3 months in. We jumped
Oh, no,
3
we
months
are.
ahead. Yeah, we are time travelers. We have traveled in time.
Technically, we're all time travelers. We just travel at the rate of 1 second per second.
That is why clocks are round.
Time is not made out of lines.
It's made out of circles.
It's a social construct. I don't know what you're talking about.
The facts. But yeah, so yes, the Abridgement was really the big goose egg. Where, yes, this war happened. And from what Yati was able to tell you, this war was ended by a wish that had about a dozen very very, very powerful wizards, clerics, mages of all sorts coming together to make this wish happen.
We learned that the one thing is a space station, possibly on the moon.
What is?
That's made of cheese. The thing that Robbie's all like, oh, the Citadel, the Citadel. Yep.
Yes. You did after chatting about this, and Yati seemed very excited to have someone to chat to about this. You all got to peek into the memory of Ergin, your old deceased buddy, a survivor of this particular war.
Well, he's not a survivor anymore.
Not anymore. Points for trying.
Sorry, I'm in a mood today.
We all are, man.
We all are. This is going to be great.
This is going to be great. Josh isn't even here. The chaos is unbridled. It's amazing. But yeah, Ergen was there at the launch of the Citadel, where you all got to witness basically like a military presentation of all the different races of the Coalition coming together and celebrating the launch of this thing, the Citadel. You also got to hear, for the first time, its entirety, the Coalition creed, the pledge that they all seem to take, which the last line has haunted you guys for a good long while. And variations of it, we protect so that tomorrow may exist. And Yati was stressing the fact that this was a war of mutual annihilation. No one was there were going to be no survivors. There was no surrender. This was going to be an absolute bloodbath.
Resistance is futile.
What else did we learn?
Bird people?
Yes. There were bird people. There were Aarakocra hanging out in that memory. None of you have ever seen a bird person before. You've seen tritons. You've seen fish people. You've seen rat people. You've never seen a bird person.
One of them was wandering around holding a red orb and a green orb going, "Oh, I don't know, I'm colorblind." And just like throwing them at people.
No, God, no, not again. That particular bird was not invited to the ceremony.
What? He was so important.
He was very important. He was busy doing other things. Yes, there was also, you guys, so that's the long and short of the abridgment and that particular fight. You also had some very interesting conversations with Tannel, Yati's husband, in all but legal needs, who has the same kind of life force linkage that King Ragarin had with Firanax. However, this appears to be this is a symbiotic sharing of life rather than what was happening with King Ragarin, where he was essentially cursed to immortality while he was in Firanax's thrall. Tannel appears to be on the verge of several hundred, if not 1,000 plus years old. Very old gentleman. Very comfortable. Speaks with an accent that none of you can quite place. Probably because he's older than most of y'all's living memories. And he was very interested in Lami and Lami's sword. Tannel mentioned that he was essentially a weapon created by Yeva and forged with his weapon to go kill Yati. That was his sole purpose. And that sword that Yati was using as a letter opener was built with the sole purpose of ending Yati. And now Yati has a letter opener. But there was a conversation of weapons made for a person and sort of fates tying together, and what the personal bond of a weapon and a weapon that has been crafted and pointed in a direction, particularly in regards to the last call, but also a little bit with Lami's broken sword. And Tannel did this thing where he flicked Lami, and you all heard a pitch. And then when he flicked the sword, it was opposite of dissonance. Come on, brain, it's in there.
Creation Wars.
Resonant. Thank you, Rachel, for actually answering the question I had. Chris, thank you for remembering a thing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, a particular resonance that worked with that. And you got to see more of it in its operating as Tanil showed the resonance between him and his weapon.
As pointed out by chat, Thalia heard her mother singing.
She sure did.
She was all like, "La."
There is...
that was right.
We will... Yeah. I'm trying to think if there was anything else between Tanil and that. Lamy has gone off to begin his research.
In a closet.
In any particular closet he can find. Ronan was asked Tanil to spar, to do a little bit of fighting. And Thalia, you were led by Yati to a room full of crystals, and you were directed to a particular crystal baton where you got to hear an echo of the beginning. Capital T, capital B. The song of creation. And you heard your mother's singing voice leading that. Now, if we would like to... It's kind of the two of us, or the three of us, so I'm going to bounce back and forth between you guys as the moments arrive. But who wants to go first?
Rollies?
Rollies.
It begins.
What? 12.
13.
Woo! Close one. What does that mean?
Close. I don't know.
That means Rachel gets to
Rachel
gets to pick who goes first.
Oh no.
That's the worst. I feel like I should have.
Oh. All right. As long as yeah.
We could just make it highest goes first.
Like 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay. So when this Thalia is you don't remember the song ending. But what are two things you take with you as this memory sort of fades to black and you return to yourself holding the baton aloft, almost as if you've conducted?
Oh, wow. I mean, she just like witnessed creation, right?
Not so much visually, because it's hard to see the universe creating, but you felt the echo. This was a recording of an echo of that.
Yeah.
It is the closest thing to the original song, but you heard essentially the first movement of reality.
Two things she takes away. I mean, I think probably the feeling of both being an individual and yet the total loss of identity in light of the collective, of just the voices in the choir and the life that is springing forth. So like holding the baton, feeling that like the individuality of being the conductor of something, and feeling like you're the only one up there that has that view, that listening sensation, but then also like losing yourself in the sound, which is like you get from being a conductor. So that kind of feeling of total loss of self, but also identity, something she takes away. for a second thing she takes away from the Song of Creation. And it kind of goes hand in hand, but just understanding of how small and I hesitate to use the word meaningless or worthless her life is in the grand scheme of it all, and that like she is like this to the story of creation, the story of what comes forward and what came before. Just understanding that her role is so fleeting, in light of this massive power and everything about it. So yeah, tears, crying, obviously, but
okay. So what do you do next?
Probably gonna hold the baton in her hands, like two-handed, like set it back in its box. Put it back, shelve it nicely. Like, just training kind of kicks in terms of archival. Shelve it nicely. And then she'll probably just kind of lay down, like, totally just sprawl. And take in the fact that she is just surrounded by these crystals of memory and these stories. And again, just that feeling of small but belonging, and like feeling the honor of getting to carry stories and getting to carry memories and getting to experience such like majesty. Just kind of let that sensation go.
As you're laying there looking around, just sitting in this room, you're seeing other crystals, other boxes that have very faded writing on them, but you are catching pieces of history in all of its forms. There's an entire column about halfway across the room that is the assassination of Emperor Sigmund, and there are 19 with that same marking running in a column. And you have no idea who Emperor Sigmund is. But the fact that the Song of Creation only has one means that it was either hard to find. The fact that the Song of Creation only has one recording and other major historical events only have one, and this one has 19, seems odd, to say the least. And as you're kind of looking around...
19, you said?
19. Yes, 19. There are 19
so there's
crystals.
19... Alright. While everything else has one. Okay. I need to make a call.
Yeah,
so if you want
go for it. We'll jump to Chris as you are laying there and enjoying yourself. So Chris, hi buddy.
Yes. Hello.
You walk with Tannel, and as Tannel is kind of leading you towards the armory. For being an old man who is several lifetimes older than you, he still moves very quickly, and he moves very, very light on his feet. But he does not force you to keep up. He kind of notices that you aren't moving quite as quick as he is. And he comes back and makes sure that he's walking with you, and is just like about a half step ahead of you. Do you want to chat with him at all, or would you like to continue the stroll in companionable silence?
I'm not always this old.
Is that not how everyone is? Do we not all age slowly? We all used to be much younger.
Well, see, I was in a tent with a hag for 3 months, and I came out like this.
Well, how long did you think you were in the tent for?
Like 2 minutes.
Well,
like 7 rounds of combat.
Oh, so... Yeah. Combat time is very fluid. It is hard to pay attention to everything during a fight. I understand the confusion.
Yeah.
Did she age you like this?
Oh, yes.
Have you tried not being old?
I did. When I went to bed, I thought really hard about not being old. It didn't work.
If all the thoughts we had before we went to bed were true, I would be... Well, at least great-great-grandfather by now.
That's a lot of grandfathers.
Not all of mine were great, so I hope that I can be one day. This was Umshara, yes?
Yeah. No, she's a bitch. I hate her.
She is unpleasant, yes.
I tried to squish her head. It didn't work.
Really? You're telling me those giant hands of yours could not squish a tiny old woman's head?
Well, actually, I stomped on it.
And what happened? I assume it did not work because you are old and she is not dead.
True. She slurped the air out of my lungs and was letting me suffocate, which was fun.
What's that like?
It's a bit different than drowning, because drowning you can still breathe in the water and then your last little moment is pretty peaceful. This wasn't. It was like your lungs were slurped really small and they just couldn't get big again.
That is a neat trick. I may have to learn how to do that.
That would be cool. If you ever learn, let me know.
Well, I did learn a few things from my husband. If I may be able to help with this aging thing.
Oh, that would be very helpful.
And he takes that amber topaz brooch he has around his neck, pulls it forward. He's pulls it off, presses it against your chest, and you see him mumbling under his breath in a language you have no frame of reference for. You can't place it as any... You really can't place it. If you want to try and want to make an intelligence check for me.
Absolutely.
I realized last week you didn't roll many dice, so I want to do more of that this week.
11. This is something Thalia can speak.
It's not a language you've heard her speak before.
Oh, okay. Then I probably wouldn't know what it is.
Nothing about this is landing as familiar in your head.
Is it primordial?
No.
Is it moon language?
He does not speak.
It's just a hive wizard going, I'm from the moon.
That wizard came from the moon.
Good
no,
old Dinklebot.
it is not a language you understand. But you feel that same kind of warmth. He gave you a little boost earlier. And you feel that same warmth start to suffuse, and you feel this sense of melancholy looking down at your hands, now kind of gnarled and wrinkled and liver spotted. And they glow a little, and you feel better about them. You feel more like they are your hands, but they do not change. And after a few moments, he takes his hand back and goes, I'm terribly sorry. This is not something that
It's okay.
I can fix. I do not believe that this is a curse, though.
Oh, well, that's nice. Maybe, unless that's bad. Is that bad? Is it worse if is it better if it's a curse or worse if it's a curse? I don't think I've been cursed before.
Let me think about it. Come, fight me.
Fair.
And he continues. He
Punch
moves
him in
down
the face. No.
He moves down the hallway a little quicker, and you go to and you follow after. A couple of short turns. Short turns later, you come to a very large open doorway, but there is no door. There's just a soft curtain with bells lining the bottom of it. Come, please.
Jingle, jingle.
He gestures, and one entire wall of this 50 by 100 foot room, gymnasium sized. One entire short wall is covered in weapons of every single make and model you have ever seen, including several you haven't.
Oh.
He goes, if you take
Is there a meteor hammer?
No.
Oh.
There's not a meteor hammer. These all
sick.
Do you want to find out if any of them are magical?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are any of them magical?
You gonna pop one of your detect magic-y boys?
Oh, I was just gonna ask him.
If you just want to ask, he goes, they are all in a sense. I've tried to make it difficult to kill with these. At least the ones on my wall have been made safe. Those ones, and he points to the other end of the room and goes, are lethal enough for anyone, even a child. Please, those are yours.
You want me to use the killy ones?
Yes. It would not be fun for me otherwise.
Oh. All right,
I do not intend to kill you, my friend.
Well, no, but what if you trip?
Then Yati will laugh for many nights. Trust me, I would like to sleep sometime this month.
So you're sure you want me to use the killy ones?
Of course, please.
Okay.
I want to see what clay you were shaped from, my friend.
I go over to the killy wall.
Cool. Do you want a familiar weapon? An unfamiliar weapon?
Dual greatswords all
dual
the way.
Greatswords. There is a pair of they have a little more they're more of a khopesh than a true greatsword. They have a little more of a
sick.
curve to them, but you pick them up and these were made for a Goliath. Your hands fit, and it almost feels like these were a Goliath's before yours. They feel correct.
I kind of do a little backwards flourish, and they clang behind my back as they come around, and I'm like, these feel nice.
I'm glad. And there's a little more weight to his eyes when he looks at those. And he looks at you and looks back.
Is that good or bad?
Roll insight if you want to know more.
I have advantage. 12. I have advantage, but it's still +0.
There is a strong sense that he knows more than he's telling you. But it is not a bad thing.
Okay.
He has made an observation. I don't mean to tell me if this stresses you out. It's that look when you're being observed as a teacher. Ooh. You're being observed, and the principal just goes, "Oh," write something down.
Oh,
it's a little cryptic, but not a bad thing.
Okay. It's always a bad thing.
It's always a bad
observed. Thing. Yeah. Are there any other interesting things on the wall?
Roll me perception. Nothing is going to attack you. Don't get
13 plus 5. 18.
18? There are a lot of these weapons look to be sized for different individuals. But they are all very well made and well maintained. You do spot what looks like just a traditional longsword, but as it's hanging, there is a brilliant ruby nestled about 6 inches up from the crossguard, and the crossguard is this brilliant golden eagle, like stylized eagle on the crossguard.
Can you go over and pick it up and just kind of like admire it?
It is exquisitely made. Roll me a history check, buddy.
Do I get advantage because I'm friends with a book nerd? I don't think I could roll much better than that.
Here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Thalia, how much of human history have you, say 500 years ago, how much human history have you shared with Ronan? Just like, hey, here's this cool thing that I found while I was researching. Or has that not really crossed your path?
There might have been an odd or end. It's not something she would probably go on tangents about. But like when they were traveling together, if they were passing through somewhere, or if they found something that was somehow connected to a thread, she probably would. I don't know, Ronan, how quickly the eyes would glaze over when she started talking about that.
If it was something interesting or not. If it was about some weird politician, then it would probably be
so a 70-30 chance he just drifted out. Got it.
I'll give you advantage.
Pay attention check.
I'll give you advantage because it involves a sword.
All right, I like.
Yeah, you would have paid attention to.
That's
swords.
A natural 1, so I'll take the 15 I rolled the second.
I
gives me a 15.
You remember her talking about some long dead king. But you remember golden bird, golden something. King Tyshar. The golden crane. And as you're looking at it, you're like, hold on. And you're looking at it. And you start to tick through that. You're like, golden bird thing. Yeah, and you flip it over. And it's, to your best estimation, at least 400 years old. This is an old sword. You're not quite sure why it's here or if it's real. But judging everything else you've seen around this place, that might be a long dead king's sword.
Wait, if you got his weapons, are you king now?
I think so.
That's how it worked with Robin.
That kingdom has long since fallen into dust.
He can restart it.
Be king of the dust.
He could.
Or king of the dust, yes.
Listen,
you have an army of dust bunnies.
Everybody needs a king.
Dust devils.
Oh no! What a terrifying druid!
The dead population is resurrected as dust devils.
I think we did this in Lord of the Rings already. Anyway, but you have your 2 great swords.
Right.
But as you have this sword and you're looking at it, and you put it back and you pick up those twin great swords, these kopeshes, and they feel correct. They feel really, really good. And as you kind of go and do the flourish again, Tannel is not looking at you. Tanel is off in the corner on a short bench, and he's taking off his comfortable robe that he is wearing, and he slips out of his soft, comfortable slippers, and he takes his pants and sort of girds them around so that he has free mobility up to his legs. And as he turns, you see this broad, strong, dark chest covered in scars. And he sees you with the great swords, and he goes, "Do you have a preference of what I should use?"
"Whatever you're most comfortable with."
He reaches over, just holds his hand out, and his massive Zweihander just into his hand.
All right.
Now, I want you to hit me. I will not make it easy.
All right. Are these the same as my dwarven greatswords?
They are a +2 rather than a +1. However, we're going to run this duel just as rollies.
Okay.
So, high roll wins that particular exchange.
But no, my great weapon master.
Okay. You ready?
Yes, I have to pick the one that broke, what's his name's back. Did you roll?
What's his name? Hold on, let me. For those of you in chat who are
not Skiggy.
Skiggy.
It's cocked.
No.
That is.
For those of you, this is
season 1.
Season 1 lore. Ooh.
All of the Snowflake is season 1.
It's red for red. It's blue for blue. Wait, when did we meet blue?
We haven't met blue yet. You met green though.
Yeah.
We did meet green.
We met a blue dragon lady.
You did.
Ish.
That's very true.
Ish. I'll find the guy's name.
That is a natural 4.
And it's a 16.
That'll beat the 4.
So yeah, you tell me how you come at him, and I'll tell the ending. Tell me how the fight starts. I'll tell you how the fight ends.
I'll kind of, being how Kopesh's are, I'll loop one around reverse grip, and I'm going to put it against my side so the back of the blade is like on my flank, and I'll come around with an upper head swing with my right hand, and then come with a slash from my left, so it's hitting low and high at the same time, and I'll kind of do a little spin.
You come in for the spin, and he basically takes his sword, inverts it so it's pointing down, catches the low swing, guides it up, and then just takes both swings over his head. And he just and as you turn, you feel this whack against your back as the blade of the Zweihander turns and it catches you. He goes, good. Again.
Fuck. That went on top of my D4s. Get out of here. We're scooching. There we go. It's a 7.
20. Tell me how it starts. I'll tell you how it ends.
I'll come out of the swing with the whack on the back, and I'll go, fuck. And I'll come in with an up, and then it'll look like I'm coming with an up again, but I'll come back down.
Okay. So when you go for the up, he just takes a quick step back and then steps forward into your grip, and just the pommel of this Zweihander just kind of taps you under the chin.
As soon as he taps me under the chin, I'm gonna rage.
Okay. Roll on that rage table for me, buddy. Also, I am using the Gifted by Callus dice. This is a narrative die is what I'm learning. It's great for storytelling and bad for beating up my friends.
It is. Where's my wild surge? I teleport.
Okay.
Cool. I mean, none of them really work in this situation.
Okay.
But,
You feel that tap, and then poof, you just poof away. Where do you go?
Behind him. like Goku Super Saiyan instant transmission.
Okay. In this puff of snow and smoke. And he laughs. Tandle lets out this boisterous belly laugh. Did you roll to whack him?
I did roll to whack him.
Great.
17.
That is also a 17. I'll give it to you for the teleport.
Okay.
So he's laughing and he turns with the sword up in a guard, expecting a swing, but he's not entirely sure where you are. So tell me how you whack him.
So I'm gonna teleport behind him, but instead of the large looming Ronin figure, I'm going to appear crouched, and I'm gonna come up with a double slash upwards and get him kind of in the lower abdomen.
2 cuts, big X across his chest, and he stumbles and kind of goes. I thought those were for you. They look good in your hands.
I feel good. Poof.
All right. That is a 9 from him.
That is a 7.
Beautiful. So you come out of. Tell me how you come out of this next teleport.
I'm gonna come up, appear a little above him and to his right. And I'm gonna be big again because I'm up a little bit. And I'm just gonna come down for 2 downward slashes again.
You get the feeling that he's now trying a little.
Okay, that's all I was after.
But the sword is up, and it is just 2 quick parries, and then again you just feel like this faintest touch. It does not draw blood, but it's like a bee sting. It's like boop. He goes, "Tell me, Ronin, you have a story of someone who used swords like that, do you not?"
I do.
Tell me about it, as he settles down with this blade sort of waving up in front of you.
Poof again.
Okay.
That's much better. 18.
That is a 6. You will have the drop on him.
All right. So I'll poof backwards 5 feet. Instead of around him, because I'm assuming he's expecting that at this point, and I'll just rush up again, the same move that I pulled the first time with the 1 backhand, 1 forward, and just spinning slash kind of around. And
he can. Yeah.
Once I come out of the spin, I'll go panting because I'm fucking old. My mother told me a story of a Goliath warrior that wielded 2 of these. And then I probably poof again. And I'll just continue to tell this story about this Goliath warrior that lived in the mountains above where we lived, which, if you want, I can get you the name of it. I have to pull up the Google Docs document. And
we'll jump to Rachel.
Oh no, okay. Not the Google Docs.
I was gonna say we'll jump to Rachel as you're telling this story, and now as you're continuing, as you start jumping back and forth, he is taking. You get the feeling that he is enjoying every second of this fight. And you're able to keep the story going and tell him this tale as he's fighting, and it is becoming much more even. And he is you're making him sweat, and he is it's that feeling of this is a good thing. But while you're looking that up, we will jump.
As I cut away from 2 old men fighing.
Yep.
I just
the sound of crystal and steel clanging into each other. Thalia, your eyes open. You didn't realize that your eyes had kind of shut for a second as you were wallowing in this, because you feel something warm and fuzzy sort of bump against your head, and there's a low. It's a very familiar orange cat. Has moseyed into this room and is just nuzzling up against you looking for pets.
Squeechies.
It sort of turns. This cat just moseys over to another bank of the crystals and settles down in a nice spot on top of a box and just is kind of laying there comfortably.
All right,
but I'm 100% is Atronix's cat.
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay.
You have seen this cat in Atronix's office.
Yeah, I have. Cool. I'm gonna go over to that pillar that had 19 crystals.
Mm-hmm.
There's part of me that chaotic me tonight wants to just be like, hug, activate like 4 crystals at once, which is probably bad.
Whoa.
But
so
but
looking.
No, she would just kind of like find the roadmap until one of them spoke to her and just.
So looking at this is records of an assassination attempt, or rather, an assassination. A public assassination, and there are multiple records. The fact that there are 19 of them, there are 19 memories of people who were there.
Okay.
This is just a massive historical record. And I absolutely have lost my marbles and can't find my...
What? You don't have 18 pages of lore for me to just stumble through?
I do... And I can't. I flipped past where that name was. What was the name that I gave you?
Sigmund.
Sigmund.
Spelled Emperor wrong. Gotta change that.
Yeah. The story of Emperor Sigmund's death is fairly well known through history. However, it's kind of like the JFK assassination. Like, there are lots of theories about it, and the fact that there are this many memories of it that all need to be kept. You get the feeling that these are all significant in some way to that particular event.
Okay. So if it is something that I
you know of it in like the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
Sort of yeah, in sort of like this dude got assassinated. This dude was murdered. The specifics of it are lost mostly to history. Except here.
I'm gonna tap the smallest crystal that I can find. Do you want me to just roll 1 through 19, d20 and?
If you want to tap, they are labeled. The boxes are labeled.
Oh, okay.
There is one labeled. The last memory of Emperor Sigmund, and it is the smallest one.
Not gonna go for that one, as tempting as that is right now.
That when you're like the smallest one, I was like,
put the biggest one in front of me. No.
If you want to go inside the head of a dying man, it is right there. What a lovely opportunity.
Wow, you shouldn't have.
I'm so generous.
You know how to treat your players. I will. If there's one that's like marked as a close bystander or something like that, I don't necessarily want somebody involved in the action, but I want somebody who had a shot on it.
Okay, who got a visual. You're seeing, of those 19, you're seeing ones from guard captains. You're seeing ones from the Empress as well, who was there at the time. You are seeing all of these memories from people. These are all people who were like direct eyewitnesses to it.
I'm going Empress.
Okay. So you take this out, and this is a crystal carved into like a hair comb. And as you slot it in to just like sort of up into your hair, you feel this weight kind of sit, and you feel yourself kind of falling almost as you land in a very comfortable cushioned chair. sitting in front of what looks like a very, very large crowd with some kind of announcement. And you have this feeling of looking around and seeing very friendly faces, guards that you have known and trusted your entire life. You are watching your daughter be wed in a sort of treatise between yourselves and what looks like a Goliath. As you're sitting there enjoying the ceremony, the vows are being exchanged, and you feel this thought unbidden rise in your head. Well, thank God the Goliath's vows are over. I thought they were going to take the rest of the afternoon. I just want to get out of this heat. And I suppose if any of these brutes can dance, that might be interesting. And you feel a hand on your knee, and you see your husband, Emperor Sigmund, sort of reaching over, putting his hand on your knee, just kind of looking at you with that face that you make to a significant other, that when you're just checking in, like, everything okay? You good? And you feel yourself kind of smile and nod, and he smiles back at you. It's a crossbow bolt through his head. Panic erupts, but all you can see is staring him in the face and watching that light. Full red wedding. Chaos ensues. You are covered in guards blocking you, some of them getting just up under you and carrying you away to safety as others rush to your husband. And then as you lose sight of that and are dragged inside, the memory fades to black.
Okay. Should carefully take the comb back, place it a little reverently back in its box.
When you go to put it back, as you're setting it back and you sort of have it by the top, you put your hands down and you pull your hands away, and you notice for the first time there is a thumbprint, a bloody thumbprint where your right thumb was, where you just lifted it off, and you know that that was there that day.
Okay.
Some old blood.
Okay. Oh, I can't tell whether I want to keep pursuing family threads or just go at it. I think she'll take a couple steps back. A couple more scritches. It's a cat. And she's just gonna... she has no idea if this is gonna work or not, but she is in a place of knowledge and memory, and she wants to treat it with reverence. And she doesn't just want to go pilfering through everyone's memories as much as she wants to. She doesn't. So she's just gonna open herself to the arcane, and this that has to be just overflowing this room, and just kind of open herself up to wherever it leads her.
Okay.
Kind of like just asking the arcane universe of like, what do you want to show me? What, how am I what do I need to be a vessel for? Like, what knowledge do I need to be a vessel for in this time?
What do I need to know?
How many crystals are
or
there?
What, what knowledge do I need to share with the world?
Yeah, no, you are opening yourself up to the greater cosmos and asking, what do I need to know?
To bear witness, to know, like, what...
I have a question in response, says the universe. where do you want to start? What question is burning in that noggin of yours?
I feel like this room is not about me.
But you are here asking the question. And you look like this is a real voice.
Oh.
The cat, it's a real voice, and the cat kind of looks up at you and goes back to taking a bath. The cat's mouth has not moved. You can't, but you're not 100% sure the cat didn't say things.
You've actually been in this room 76 years. You're just going insane.
Look, I wouldn't put it past her.
No, Umshara would not let that shit slide. You're on a timeline with her.
Oh no. I have so many questions I could ask.
So start asking.
Okay. Okay, so she has one right now related to the current mission, her current mission.
Okay.
And then she has like maybe 2 or more related to just...
Okay. So let's start with the one for right now.
Okay.
What's most pressing? Or what are you most... Well, let's start with the one for right now. What do you think?
The Citadel. What's going on with that? Where is it? What was the what's on the Citadel other than we think it's a city up in the sky? Like, knowledge of the Citadel. In terms of the big vague questions, which you'll probably hate me for.
That's fine. Big vague questions other than what should I do is I appreciate because we had the conversation about asking like what should I do. I love that. Going, universe, tell me what I need to know, and I'm like, I have so much to tell you and I don't know what's important. so yes.
In terms of big universe questions, I think she would both want to know. I guess she's talking to the universe now. Just
essentially chaos's
chaos, I guess. Yeah, whatever.
Universe.
Chaos, universe, Abolus, guess whatever. I think she would probably ask this room, this entity, this history, whatever she's talking to. She would ask to see and experience and share what moment in history broke their heart, like broke, what was like the universe had something set up and something that we as free will did that like shattered something precious or something destined. So she would want to share that heartbreak, but she would also want to experience like a moment of just unadulterated joy. Like she wants to see the range of free will in that sense. She sees the universe and she just wants to be a vessel to understand the good and the bad. Until you hate it.
No, I love it. My brain is just like... You're asking me to sum up the entire human experience on both ends of the spectrum, and my brain is like, this was not what I had in mind today. I just wanted to like fight Ronan for a bit and then give you like encyclopedia entries.
You said the universe asked. You connected me with the universe. I don't know what.
You see a small child opening a pack of Pokemon cards, and there's first edition Charizard and
shiny Charizard, motherfucker.
Shiny Charizard. That is the epitome of joy.
Yeah, I mean, you could that could be it. It could.
And for sadness, you see a kid opening another one, and it's just a Pikachu.
If you had said Bulbasaur, I would have ended the stream. Bulbasaur is number 1. You leave my boy alone.
He's perfect in every way. He's
Yeah,
a little plant boy.
He's number 1.
Bulbasaur, Portal.
Bulbasaur.
Good lads.
I always like Chikorita the most. That's my favorite. The little leaf.
I'll take Chikorita over Trico. He was a weird one.
Yeah.
That's a different. That's the Pokemon stream. That's later.
Ooh.
How the fuck do I sum up the human experience?
Well, I guess that's why I said there's one pressing, and then there's one that could.
We'll start with the pressing one.
Wait, but we'll say that that could happen off screen.
We'll start with the Citadel. We'll start with the factual thing that I can wrap my brain around. But it's such a juicy question, and I love it. When you sort of send out just like, what is the Citadel? And you think that question, and when you realize you speak it aloud in Celestial, and there's a bit of a breeze comes through, and you get a feeling that that answer's not in this room.
Interesting.
And at that moment, the cat kind of lazily stretches, kind of looks around, jumps down, walks out of the room. What do you do?
Okay, so I see it leaves the room. At that point, I would ask my 2 mind-bending questions. Sorry, I'm destroying my own mind as I think about it. But at that point, I would ask the room, the universe, those 2 questions, and just kind of wander through, walk through the room a little bit. As long as I still hear the clang of steel.
Okay.
Because I'm sure I can faintly hear it.
Yeah, you can hear the spark.
You also hear some mumblings.
It's probably
some splashing of soup hit the ground from Lamy in the other room.
It's probably, I don't know where it is in terms of proximity. I also imagine it just instead of hearing it in the room, because I'm sure we got to soundproof this whole shindig here, safety first here in the records room. She might feel slight reverberation through the floor or something. I'm sure her shoes are off at this point, just not wanting to.
For the most part, you feel Yati's steps as he kind of steps through and steps around. But you do hear a little bit of once you if you get near the threshold, you hear more of the outside. And as you come out, you realize that there is a small cup of tea, a little saucer. There's a small cup sitting on what looks like a little shelf near the door that has been prepared there and is still hot, just waiting for you. But as you go back in and start asking capital B big questions, and sort of thinking through, you get a multitude of memories. You have just to kind of jump through these, you find a memory of holding your firstborn child in your hands, and the sheer unending well of love that a mother has for their child. And you also see moments of absolute despair as you, in a body that is 12, 14, 15 feet tall, watch as a being made of light and eyes and wings tangling with an enemy made of smoke and fouler things comes crashing down in front of you, and you are running from this fight and watching as your kin, your friend, your family is destroyed, as these two forces that you cannot comprehend are annihilating each other.
If I may, that would probably trigger some sort of memory about
Chrissy said it earlier.
The Creation War. I was about to say, is there, because I remember there's like two very similar things, and I just wanted to check my notes to make sure I had the right one. Yeah, the Creation War. She would probably start.
That leads you down that particular rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And there are a few memories. There are a few crystals of that. They are old and delicate in a way that is... They're more delicate than the crystal with the echo of the first song. And can you read Giant?
No.
You cannot read what is on the box, but you get a feeling that this has that it is written in common underneath. Creation War.
The one plaque is just really big.
It's like it's on the end of the box. It's on like the flat end, but if you slide it out, written all the way across in the top is Creation War.
But you can't read it.
You cannot.
It's too big.
You're like, oh, if only Ronan was here. He'd know how to read. Said
no one ever.
Said me. I just said it. It's on record. True. It's recorded for
Excuse
the sake
you,
of the internet.
buddy.
I don't know where my camera is.
So, looking into this record of the Creation War, this small piece of the puzzle, it is more memories of giants, men and women who were the first to walk the worlds, created. The stories change. If it was a being of light or a being of darkness, or both. Two individuals striking out from their destined fates of good and evil to come together and make something that is neither, and setting it loose upon the plains. You see the memories of that war continuing. The memory of an angel and a demon careening out of the sky and crushing your village beneath their struggle. And the giants just on the run, moving from place to place to place, leaving whatever modest homesteads they could when trouble showed up, as it always seemed to. There isn't a clear record of how the war ended, though. The last crystal is shaped like a gavel. As you pick it up in both hands and hold it, you are sitting across an enormous stone table. And you see 7 sevens worth of giants standing there. 7 gathered around the table. And with each of those 7 other giants with their hands resting on those shoulders. And in the center is a large piece of crystal. and all 7 of these elders pointing their hands and channeling energy into it. And you pick up this gavel in your hand. Look to the 7, to the 49 with them, and say in giant, "Then let it be done." Crack! Bright flash of white, and then nothing.
They just nuke themselves with a crystal?
I'll let you think on that particular piece of memory. Ronan, we come back to you.
I have to put my fight music back on.
Well, the fighting at this point, is the story over? Tell us the story that you're telling.
So I had to go back to the ancient texts of Discord before I even joined the campaign to find this, because it wasn't in my notes. When Ronan was very young, he was told the tale of a Goliath warrior of legendary strength. The tale was that the warrior battling a great frost drake. Their battle lasted almost 4 days until the warrior plunged both great swords into the throat of the beast, killing it and claiming victory. After the battle, no one has seen the Goliath warrior since, and it is unknown if they are still alive. This story sparked Ronan to start training with dual swords.
As you finish telling that story, in between heaving breaths, roll Constitution for me, buddy. I'm not going to give you a heart attack. I just want to see how tired you are. Don't worry. I'm not going to be like, here's this glorious moment, you're dead.
Is my con still plus 10? I guess, because I took the hit in my strength, not my con.
Plus 10?
Yeah, I have plus 10 to my con
saving
throw?
Yes. Check. This is not an attack. This is just, I want to see how
22.
tired you are. 22. You are breathing pretty... You've been in the middle of a good workout. And it's been paced really well. And Tannel is standing there, bleeding from a couple of cuts. You've got way more welts than he's got cuts. Because after a couple of rounds, and once you got into the story of it, he was poking you, prodding you. Tell me more. How did he fight? What did he do? Why was he important? Why do you care? And as you continued to work through the story, you felt younger. In a way, you remember being that kid hearing that story around a fire pit and going, I want to do that. I want to be that guy. And as you sort of stand up and finish the story with your swords drawn, Tanner goes, very good. Puts his sword away.
You just disappear?
He just real quick just like sheets it and has it crossed across his chest. I thought so. You are of the old blood. And those should be awfully familiar to you.
Why is that?
Because you just told me their story, friend.
What? Ron kind of looks down at his hands and looks to see like how big his hand is compared to like the handle on the sword. Is it like a good match?
It's a good fit. it feels not quite like it, not as if you made it, but as if whoever made it was an absolute master craftsman. And there is a sense of connection with these.
I would ask you if you know his name, but I think I like the mystery of not knowing.
He was fiery, like you.
Most people say I'm chilly.
You have a fire that most will only see for what it does when it burns angry. But you and I know that fire, when directed, is how we create.
I'll go back and I'll kind of put him back on the wall.
Why would you put them back?
Well, they're not mine.
Would you like them to be?
Very much so.
Do you intend to kill Umshara?
Yes.
Then you cannot do it with any blade that I have here. Do you know what will happen if you do kill Umshara?
I'll fulfill a promise to a young boy whose family was harvested for raw material.
Do you know what will happen to the world if you do?
No, I don't.
But you will do it because you believe it is right.
Yes.
God, you are just like him.
The world exists with good and bad. Day and day, there's bad. She's been alive a long time. It's time that good stands on top for a little bit. There goes Lami down the hallway again. He ate too much soup, I think.
You hear, oh, this one's purple! Purple's like almost blue, right? Runs, scatters down the hall.
Suddenly he turned into Lythar.
You hear, as you hear as a small padded feet chase after him.
Is it Korra?
No, it's not Korra, it's the chair.
It's an animated chair.
Do you believe Umshara only kills good people?
No, I believe she kills everyone.
So would that not make her neutral?
I suppose if you're looking at it as these people not having connections, families, children, you said that you wanted to be a great-grandfather one day. Can you imagine what it would be like for your great-grandchild to one day wake up to their parents gone, their grandparents gone, their great-great-grandparents gone, and everyone they know turned to dust?
I don't have to
That's
imagine.
not neutral.
And yes, does not feel neutral. But everything from everyone's different point of view is good and evil. It is, in the moment, it is not easy to tell what is what. People will call you a monster. For following what you believe. I believed with my whole heart and every piece of me that Yati was a threat to myself and to my entire family. And I was raised to put an end to him. This, and it kind of raises his sword up a little. This, and my knowledge of his name, would let me kill him as easily as drinking, breathing. But instead I stopped and talked and listened. And found, instead, the man I love. And that is why I carry this with me. I could have thrown this away centuries ago, but I do not. Because it is important to me to know that the listening and talking to others is just as important as whatever my beliefs are. Now, if you would like, and if you are set on this path to kill Umshara, I have something I may be able to teach you.
I'm willing to learn.
I hope that learning this, knowing with the blood of the giants flowing through you, that this may be useful in other means, but if you practice it, you will learn and be able to do whatever it is you seek out to do. But if you do kill Umshara, you must be willing to accept the consequences of removing her from everything.
see how it goes, I guess. I mean, the next time we see her, there will definitely be talking. And I think you've convinced me enough to at least listen.
Good. Listening is the first step to learning someone's name. Pulls himself up a little and says in an old form of giant, Ronan Dex. And very similar to when Umshara said your name. There's this twink, this pluck at the center of your being. But in giant. It is so much more than just your name. It is everything you are, everything leading up to this moment. The name encompasses you. Not quite to its deepest places, but you to this point. And you feel this tugging at your core. And as it settles, Tannel goes, that is some of your name. And now that I have spoken it, and have seen you in this way, I can harm you.
I think you could harm me before, to be fair.
I can bypass all of your defenses. Let me show you. Walks over, takes a small dagger off the wall, and goes, is this magical? No, steel. Good steel, they've forgotten how to make it quite this good. But this just... Here, examine, please.
I examine.
Yeah, no magic in this thing. Just well-maintained steel. Takes it back. Now, get angry, and I will show you what I mean.
A little smirk comes from one corner of my face, and I'll rage.
Okay. Raging gives you resistance to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you rage. What's on your rage table? Let's just see what pops up.
I don't know what that one. Scroll. A flump. I get a flump.
Flume stands next to you, looking very confused. Tandle just kind of reaches over and tickles one of the eye stalks, and it's like very similar to a cat, but different in a weird like mental resonance to it.
6 seconds later, it explodes.
Before it explodes, it goes.
I kind of don't want them to explode. Can we change that? Can I just have a cute little flump appear randomly? Can I nerf myself so they don't explode? And
you
they
can
just
make
hang
it not.
out and
I'll
are
let
cute?
you not explode. It'll go at the end of your rage.
Okay. I have a flump friend.
And he takes your giant hand in his, and he goes, observe. Takes the dagger straight into your bicep. You take 4 piercing. You do not resist it, and you take 4 piercing.
Ow.
Pulls the dagger free. Would you like another example?
I'll scritch the flump. I'll just go, no, and the flump will disappear.
And like the tentacles kind of wave and just as puff it does. He goes, and he shows you the dagger. Anything can harm you when a thing knows your name.
So telling her my name was a bad idea.
Correct. But part of listening and learning and your brotherhood companion will be able to assist. But if you know her name...
Is Umshara her name?
Not all of it. Umshara is a talking name. It is not her true name.
Do you know her true name?
If I did, no, nothing Yati could do could keep me alive from her. She's very protective of that secret. And like you said, she has been alive a very long time.
You're saying books.
Or other things that may know. But if you learn her name and speak it, you will be able to inflict mortal injuries. Speak it in the old tongue and call her to face you as your ancestors did during the Creation War.
I have to brush up on my old giant.
Don't worry, we have a book for that.
Ah, good. I can read those.
Let me see to your wound and we will go find your friends.
So am I taking these?
I will let you ponder it.
What's that mean?
Think.
You're letting me think if I think you want me to take those or not.
This is not about what I want. If you want them, you must leave something in return for them. Something of equal value to you, to me, or to Yati. We, how do you say, we do not give freebies. We'll let you think on it.
Let me ponder.
Good, good. See, you're already listening. I have high hopes for you, my friend.
Sit down, crisscross applesauce. I'm going to pull out Adelaide and sit her on my lap. I'm going to pull out 3 pastries and hand 1 to Tannel. And give one to
please, let me. I need to patch your injuries first, and mine. I do not want blood mixed in with this delicious pastry. It is unsanitary. I have standards here. This is my armory, and I will maintain it. Thank you.
After he patches me up, I'll sit crisscross applesauce in front of the sword, staring at them. We'll give him a pastry, Adelaide a pastry, and myself a pastry.
And after he patches and he's cleaned his sword, he sits down with that crystal blade across his knees. Again, crisscross applesauce, and just sits with you and looks at the array of weapons that have been gathered through history. We'll jump back to Thalia. What are you up to, friend? Or do we want to take a break there because it is past bathroom break?
Up to y'all.
I'm good to power through because I'm having a great time.
I can just go pee while it's her turn.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Go pee. If you gotta pee, go pee. So yeah, we'll jump back to... Oh god, this is gonna be great to edit. I'm so excited. So yeah, Thalia, what are you up to?
Well, I mean, I don't know how long it takes to go through, Creation War memories.
Not super long.
Okay.
These are all being conveyed at the speed of thought. The hardest part is afterwards. As your brain's got a bit of a headache to it because you have been you've just been cramming memories in there.
Mm-hmm. Are there any just like crystals lying around unmarked?
No. This is a very well organized library.
I didn't know. It's like if there's blank paper.
You like to encode your own memories?
Yeah.
Roll me investigation. See what we find.
11.
Pulling open a couple of drawers, you don't see any. A lot of these, you're not seeing any you're not seeing any blank crystals for making records. And as you're thinking about it, you're like, why aren't there any? Oh, right. This is storage and preservation. There would be you remember when the Brotherhood member, the Silent Order brother came and hooked you up to take that memory. There would be some sort of mechanism to add your own to this process.
Because she was gonna give in thanks for receiving. She probably still will offer later on.
There will be a separate room for that.
Yeah. Okay. How's the tea?
It is minty. It is a little strong in the back of the throat, but it is just very light. Probably like a mid levels of caffeine. This is I'm not gonna spike and crash. This is I just need a little more energy to cruise.
She'll kind of go towards the threshold, not out. How's it sounding outside? I guess she hear people moving around again.
You hear Lami's heavy footsteps and the of the chair chasing after him down the hall. And you do hear humming. Very deep, brassy bell-like bass hum. The sound of a large page turning and something being written down. Yati's initial ruckus that you guys left him in as he was trying to figure out time seems to have subsided.
Okay.
But you do hear activity. You don't hear fighting anymore.
Okay. I'm gonna finish the tea. I'm gonna go once more to Baton, where I started. If possible, see that one more time.
Sure.
And then head back to Yati.
Okay. As you are standing, again, as that memory settles in and you are fully along for the ride, you've practiced with all of these other memories and you are comfortable with this falling process now, and you really seep into it. As you start to hear that ringing out and the first light of creation is found, you have a little more time to look around because you're not in awe and enraptured by this whole thing, and you look down and the phrase "let there be light" is written in front of you in black ink, and there's a quill sitting in the nothing right in front of you, and you see the notes your mother is singing appear above the text.
Does the quill look familiar?
Oh, very, very familiar.
Oh, great. Cool. Wow. Okay.
But aside, there's a faint feeling of shit. I do know. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And
just like, all right, well, back to let's not think about that.
I'm enjoying the good thing. But it almost adds legitimacy to it in a way that you wouldn't have understood if you hadn't put your hands on the obsidian quill.
Mm-hmm.
And that does not take, as unsettling as it does not take away from your joy in that moment. But yeah, as you finish your tea and set it aside, where are you headed?
I'm gonna step out in the hallway. I'm gonna check to see if the cat's there.
No sign of the cat.
Okay. I'm gonna go towards where I left Yati, or where I can hear Yati.
As you're coming closer, it's a drinking song that he's just humming to himself. Well, welcome back. I trust that you enjoyed yourself in the records room. Actually, did you find anything anything that you found particularly useful? Or exciting?
How can I not find it exciting?
Anything in particular?
I mean, getting to commune with the universe.
Oh, isn't it wonderful?
Yeah.
It makes me feel small, which is no mean feat. And every once in a while, we need that.
Is there a way I could contribute? I don't know if I have anything really to offer, but for receiving so much, I feel like I should contribute.
Well, that is most kind. And I'm not sure. What, well, you've seen the scope of at least that particular room. Do you have anything unique or unusual? Something that you might find... Let me phrase this a different way. As a Brotherhood member, you and I share a similar mindset. Is there something you feel should be preserved, for better or for worse, as a piece of immutable history?
I mean, Brotherhood took record of the events of Eastov. I don't know if that'll make it to the archive at any point here, but I feel like, and witnessing the containment unit.
Yes, that will... If the Brotherhood has it, I will in time. And in fact, actually, I did see that little scoundrel around here, and he reaches down and pulls open a desk drawer, and you see, and he goes, yes, an early delivery. And he pulls out a very similar crystal to the one at this distance and at his height. You can't quite tell if that's the one from the Brotherhood. He goes, if this is half as interesting as you say, I will spend a few days observing. But no, that one will be in the official records. Is there anything that you want forever? I pride myself on keeping things much, much longer and much more secure than most of my compatriots.
So I have... Okay, one would be Diati, would be to ask if, like, the witnessing, like, I don't want to say the creation of the Cherry Fairy, but their first, like, the whole, like, the circle of, the circle of trees, their first act, and knowing that we had a, like, chaining our threads of thought and in terms of, like, the memory of establishing a Fae, or, a Fae creature. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that would be interesting enough. I don't know if that needs to be preserved, but in terms of, like, that string of a power coming to existence, I think is significant. And then the other one I guess I'm curious about is going back to my childhood. I don't know if I would know it's there, but do I have any witness testimony of my mom ashing that guy? Like I know I was like a little toddler infant,
but no, that's so good.
But like just the witnessing of angelic power on this earth, or on this plane.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Like I don't know, and that's one where it's like she probably would know enough to be like, theoretically she could have that somewhere in her memory bank. She just doesn't know it.
It would take some digging.
But if he has that ability, like he could try. So that's kind of above and in game.
Oh, that's
those would be my two.
So
like in terms of and then like piecing together the memories of my father talking about it, like their love story of an angel and a mortal. And
I think so is this, are you offering this aloud to Yati, or are you like sort of like in character but sort of doing the broader discussion of it? Because I will give you this for free.
Okay.
Yati loves the story, a little bit of the theatrics of it. The whole arc of your parents that you know of is it's popcorn. Like, it's so juicy.
It's on my list of things to offer Yati.
Yay! Yes.
My parents' love story, so there it is.
I thought you were gonna pull a Terry Crews.
I also have the Cherry Fairy Origins up there on my list of things to offer.
He will absolutely take both.
Terry loves love. Yati loves love.
Yeah. So we'll yeah, I will offer both of those things. I will tell the stories that go along with it.
Let me
from one storyteller to another.
Let me think, because you guys are able to step away. All of a sudden my bladder is like, hello sir, it is go time.
Yeah.
So I'm the problem. I'm gonna take 5, 10?
Sure.
I'll make it 10.
Sure.
It'll give my pumpkin pie a moment to defrost.
Yeah, y'all can do that. So we're gonna take a 10. I will be right back.
It's very frozen.
It's very frozen. You have 10 minutes to microwave it, my dude. But
keep going. You'll get it in no time.
You got 10 minutes. Go get it, buddy. We'll be right back. Bye-bye.
And this and every break is brought to you by Sheckler Woodworking. You can check out Sheckler Woodworking for all of your woodworking sticker needs at Sheckler Woodworking at sheckler.woodworking.com. He does not yet make dice, but there are stickers that you could put on your dice, and then they wouldn't work anymore because they wouldn't roll well.
I mean, they would, but you couldn't, like, unless you cut.
But like, if you actually, it would have like a tail.
Well, no, because if you cut it down, right, on this lovely 2-inch sticker model that we have.
Oh my god, could we do that? Make pre-packaged.
You could cut that 20 out and put that 20 on
the 20.
On the 20,
and then it would be 20ception.
And then you put the 1 on the 1. So like, yeah, you could cut that out. That's totally feasible and totally doable.
Does that count as a double natural?
No, it's still a natural 20. It just has our marketing on it, and that matters more.
Okay.
It's not about the die's balance or rigging it. It's about merch. Anywho, welcome back. Thank you all for being so patient with me. Boy, there was a lot. we got distracted during break. It's fine. Crystal has some
Ronan's
frozen
cataracts.
Ronan's got
it's so cold. It keeps going between my teeth.
Then stop
and it's frozen.
eating it.
But it's so yummy.
You have 40 minutes, 43 minutes, and we're out of here, and you can go reheat the pie and do whatever you want with it. But preferably eat it.
No.
Don't waste food.
I'm going to suffer.
You and me both, buddy. So, when last we left off, Thalia was offering as a gift for in not recompense, repayment for the information that Yati has been kindly sharing, offered up a pair of memories, a pair of stories. And the first being the story of the entity known as the Cherry Fairy.
Oh my gosh, wait, how many viewers do not know this one yet?
Probably most, because that's a season 1 bit. That's
the volume 1 lore in my other.
And then directly like the episode after the boat.
Yeah.
So season 1 and 2. Cherry Fairy hasn't.
And the forgotten, and the time we try to forget.
We don't talk about the boat time.
We don't talk about boats. You know, when we accidentally willed a fey creature into existence, playing a joke on our druid.
Don't listen,
ranger.
If you lean into the gag too hard, the gag leans back.
Oh yeah, when we get around to doing an Ashe and Shade recap,
there's just no mention of the boat. We just will it out of existence. Much
and
like
then
the Cherry Fairies was willed in.
The abridgment. We just
another
abridgment.
We're abridging our own story. We just cut that out.
We'll fix it in post.
Hi, I'm post.
I was gonna say, what if we're the post?
I'm the post. But yeah, so the broad context of that story is what started out as just a running gag, playing a little joke on the naive Lythar. And that story caught traction, and people started believing in this entity called the Cherry Fairy. And what does the Cherry Fairy do exactly for our original?
As per Ronan's shenanigans, Ronan snuck into Lythar's room one night and wrote the word butts using cherries. And then Lythar woke up to just see butts written in cherries on the floor. So she leaves we don't know what gender. They leave messages with cherries.
Strong cherry tree motifs with this kid.
Yeah.
And enough people began to believe in it. And
so Lythar is enough people.
Lythar, but also Evelyn.
I was supposed to say Evelyn was in on it.
Evelyn caught on, and the story started to spread. And like all good stories, it takes on a life of its own. Lythar spread it around as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he kept asking people about the Cherry Fairy.
And the rumors began to spread, and enough people began to believe in this fairy that would leave messages. But that story shifted a little. This was the creature that effectively was born from this idea. The small, harmless but caring joke turned into a small and caring entity that you all encountered months later when you all took a moment and needed a reprieve. And you found yourself inside a triple circle of trees that had not been there when you went to bed. 3 fairy circles of flowering trees, cherry trees, that still exist somewhere in the woods south of...
On the way to Easthoff.
On the way to Rekinsvik, I believe? No, Rekinsvik burned down.
No.
Where the hell did y'all go?
We hadn't reached Valentel yet.
Yes, you were on your way to Valentel.
We're on our way to Valentel.
3 rings of trees in that area.
About a day south, I believe.
And also, Lady Cost may have mentioned that at the wedding. So you have created a wild fae, the likes of which hasn't really been seen in a very long time.
And isn't aligned with court?
No,
right?
It is a true wild fae, which is very unusual.
Oops.
And Yati, pondering that, goes, what's the other one? I like knowing both of my options.
I mean, you can have both. I mean, you allowing me to see those records alone is worth more than 2 memories, honestly. but the second story is my parents. Their unlikely love. That still they still love each other, but she's been kind of banished from our plane.
Your mother presumably is the angelic half of that, of you.
Yeah, he had asked that before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your mother. I would be most interested. There are plenty of love stories in these books, and most of them are sad, tragic. Those are two very, very specific and different things. And this one has merit, I believe.
There's tragedy, there's sadness, but I mean, at this point,
it's a love story. That's what makes it
a love story.
Great.
She still loves him, and well,
why was she banished?
She maybe used her angelic power to just roast someone from existence who tried hitting on her while my dad was working.
Oh, I must have this one. If nothing, I would love both if you are offering, but I must have the second one.
The blast stains still exist on the wall.
Where?
Oh no, you got me.
Details, not important. I will find them when I visit the memory. But if those...
For the people in the chat, it wasn't that he was just like, "Hey, what are you doing later?" He was like a scumbag.
He like tried to sleep with her and twist her into marriage. The mayor of that town.
Yeah. So it was warranted. She didn't just roast a dude for being like, "Hey, would you want to get coffee tomorrow?"
I would like to dust this man for asking me out for tea.
Tried to scandalize my father while he was gone, and
dreadfully unpleasant man. I am glad that the world does not miss his passing.
And now that I'm powerful enough, I was able to see my mom and draw a sketch and bring it to my dad, so he has a picture, and she can ask about him, and I can now I can deliver messages, kind of.
Child, you have a flair for
I felt like flying.
You has Tannel been talking to you? Because I would have sworn that story was almost scripted to tug at every one of my heartstrings.
No. No, I actually haven't got a chance to talk to Tannel, really.
God,
sounds fascinating.
He is a wonderful human, and I am glad that I have decided to share the rest of my days with him. God, of the two, your parents' story is unique in its own wonderful way, and I hope it's not over, but now the end of that particular chapter seems to have been positive. It's just so...
She's the one that sings the beginning of the memory and the baton.
No.
Emma.
Oh, it's like May I... Do you hug?
Yeah, I like hugs.
And the dragon... You watch Yati come around the corner, and as he turns the corner and you kind of lose him around the edge of the desk, you hear this rush of air. And stepping out around the desk is a humanoid. very similar braid to what Tannel has, but instead of Tannel's sort of graying black, this is bright and this sort of almost ruddy blonde. As he comes around and is like sort of tucking it behind, wearing very fine robes of purple and green and all manner of desert colors, flowers embroidered on the shoulder pieces. And he comes forward and he's like, I cannot tell you how oh, this is lovely. Oh, thank you. Oh, that was wonderful. I'm going to change back before I ask you to stay forever. One moment, please.
I was about to say, both the highest offense and the highest compliment. I see where the polyamory happens now.
Are you sure you haven't been talking to Tannel?
I got maybe 30 seconds with him. Also explain... Okay.
Is this
not
beautiful. Working for you? I can...
Compliment. Highest compliment. I didn't know if it was an offense or compliment to you. I find it a compliment. I meant it as a compliment.
Why, thank you. Then I will accept it as such. Now, if you'll excuse me, and he steps back behind the desk, and there's this... I always forget how small that form is and so confining. Now, yes. Would you prefer to write these down, or would you like to give the memories? Would you like to give... Well, how would you like to have these preserved?
I mean, words can do a lot, but do you want to watch? I might. I don't.
Don't ask me if I would like to watch, please. That will only cause problems.
I was a child when things went awry, so I might have witnessed things. I could have a visual memory, if you wanted to try and find it. Which I think could be interesting. You know, a flash of celestial power on the mortal plane these days. So we could try.
If you would like, I will be very careful. Memories of childhood are much more critical than those would suggest. This will be a duplication. As much as I would love to keep the original for myself, I feel like if that time comes and I am to receive the original, it will be unfortunate. It will be bad news for you, and I will mourn your passing.
But I'm glad that my memories would go somewhere.
Of course.
I'm glad that the stories would live on.
Yes. Speaking of, how would you like this memory recorded? In what shape? You held the baton, and I'm assuming several others. The shape is as important to the memory as the memory itself. It reinforces it, combines kinesthetic and intellectual memory into one and makes the transition smoother.
Possible. One of my dad's shirts. Because the last time, the first time we connected, she was carrying the laundry basket like she was when I think everything went down. Probably laundering my dad's shirt.
Laundry? What? Oh, that's so... I hesitate to say the word quaint because that seems offensive, but it's so... genuine. Thalia, I must say before we begin, thank you for being such a genuine person. It's quite refreshing.
Genuine. I don't know if I've ever thought of myself that way. Thank you.
Of course. Now, tell me about this shirt. Paint me a picture with your words, and I will use it to make this memory vessel.
Okay.
If you want to jump to Chris,
I was like, I'll cut it short, but like, I'll cut it short, but it's probably just a simple shirt, but there's stains on it both from work, and then at that time he didn't own a tavern, but if I feel like if that was his like, okay, we got to get out of Dodge, I'm gonna go buy a tavern and run it. I feel like he was already maybe thinking of doing that. So like there might be coffee stain, like there might be stains of cooking and things that like he was practicing already.
Okay. So it's like a working shirt, yeah, working around the house and things. Okay. Sketches it up. And after a few moments of you describing this, he turns this book that he has and sort of lowers it down to you and goes and sort of hands you the pen and has you fill in where the stains were on that shirt. And he, once you're done there, he takes the book back and goes, and this wash of flame covers the book entirely. And then all that flame covering the book, covering the desk, pouring off like water is just sucked back in. And he reaches down into the ashen remains of the page and pulls out a shirt made of crystal. It's clear, completely transparent, but you can see parts on the sleeves where they're rolled up. You see that even the missing button that's missing from one of the ties is still missing, and it is exactly as he wrote it down and as you added in those little imperfections. And he gently, holding it in one hand, steps over to a table, places it down, and goes, when you put that on, you can decide when the memory begins and where it goes. Tell the story how you want it to be remembered. And I will treasure it as if it were one of my own. I can leave the room if you would like some privacy.
No, it's fine. Oh, I don't even, some of those childhood memories. Let's see. So, I will put on the shirt, you said?
Yeah, if you just throw it on over, like, or however you want, sort of that. How do you remember that memory starting with the shirt?
This will make for good scene cut.
Yeah, for like what is the transition
in terms
like with the comb, with
she'll
the
gently pick up the shirt, let it unfold, and then like someone doing laundry, just shake out the extra moisture before hanging it, snap it,
and you're in that memory.
Yeah,
you're remembering. Do you want to do a recap of that memory for everyone, or do we want to send them back into the archives?
I don't even know if the archives are up there. I mean, we kind of recapped already a lot of it.
Okay. So so we can Okay, so we can turn that into our snap to transition. The shirt snaps down, and Thalia, you are standing there holding the shirt on a bright, sunny day on your island home. Ronan, you and Tannel have been sitting in quiet, eating your pastries. Tannel has finished his pastry, gotten every single crumb, but is still sitting there watching the wall of weapons with you.
I still have my whole pastry in my hand with no concept of how long I've been sitting there. And I imagine Adelaide is probably eyeing it at this point.
She finished hers faster than Tannel did.
There's a bottomless hole for her mouth. It's canon now.
I don't want that. Adelaide is too cute. You take that back. She does. Her mouth does unhinge like a snake when she approaches pastries. It is a defensive mechanism. She's defending herself from the pastries.
Yeah. After a few seconds, I'll break the pastry in half, and I'll put half of it in Adelaide's hands, and I'll eat the other half. And I'll kind of pick her up and put her down, and I'll stand up, and I'll reach up and I pull out my 2 dwarven greatswords, and I'll lean them against the wall, and I'll take off the 2 kopeshes and lean them against the wall. And instead of the greatswords being sideways, I'm going to hang them from their hilts so they only use one peg each. And I'm going to take my hook chain that's made from Fearnax's dragon talon, and I'm going to rest one over the left peg and wrap the chain around. And I'm going to pull out a little bag of ash with a little bow and arrow on it. I'm just going to put it inside the chain. I'll kind of leave my hand there for a second. Just kind of put it at my side and just kind of sit back down and look at the wall. And see if it fits.
Who were they?
My oldest friend. One of my first creations. And the first time I felt like that man from that story. The first time I felt like I could truly do some good in this world.
Is that the lost hope?
I think it's a promise to keep doing better.
That's his dragon on that chain.
It is. His name was Fearnax.
Tell me.
I'll go over the story of pretty much from the beginning of that day that Lami opened up a door and found me yelling at him inside and recounting, because that's really where it came from, was Core getting turned into a robot. If it wasn't for that moment and him running down into the sewers, we never would have gotten roped into Fearnax. We never would have gone down there. And I'll just recount the story and that moment of wandering into the dark city street in that cave and just letting out this battle cry, this invitation for this beast that I've only heard about in stories. I've never seen one. I never even thought I would see one. And this tail swinging past me with this unbelievable speed and force. And the whole battle of kind of getting stuck on it, and Lythar like being up on the thing, and Lami knocking over the big stone statue. And then afterwards finding those two swords.
Do you think it is worthy?
I don't know if they're worthy, but that is. And I poke the little bag of ash. That, for so long, was my motivation, my crutch. So yes, I believe this is worthy.
So, Talon the Phalanx. Great swords from his horde. In the bag, the remains of a friend. May I know their name, so I may remember and tell your story to the next one?
Her name was Taylor.
Taylor. And he smoothly, without putting his hands, like without bracing with his hands, very smoothly just stands up. Walks over to the wall. Takes the two kopeshes. Claps them together. Walks over to you. Presents them.
I'll take them both, and I'll grab them both, front and back of blade, and I'll run my hand down both of them, and there's just this smear of blood across them. And then I'll take my forearm and I'll wipe my forearm down, and you can see the bloody marks of these big runes inscribed on the blades.
It is good that the son of the mountain... It is good that his weapons remain with his kin. I have been glad to have been their custodian.
Hopefully one day they can come back. So the next me has a moment like this.
Ronan, there will not be another you. Because you are the only one. And if you are as determined to make the world a better place as you are to murder the daughter of one of the fates, then the world will be a kinder and gentler place. And there will not be people who carry their friends with them wherever they go. At least not in a bag on their hip.
One can only hope. I'll kind of swing them around and put the handles down near the end of my arm so they're resting on my shoulder, and bring my shoulder up and just slide them into the sheath on my back.
This is a good look.
Feels like a good look. If only I was 40 years younger. We'll get there in time. Normally it goes the other way. You get older over time, but I have faith. After all, the only person that's ever given me a run for my money as much as she did is my friend back there with your husband reading books.
She is
my best friend.
Fierce. Do you want to learn your first true name?
I do.
And he holds out his hands.
Oh, is this like that game Slaps? I used to be very good at this as a child.
This is not. This is not the Goliath game. This is a very serious moment, and I would appreciate.
Yes.
My name is Tannel Auden Winless. Repeat it back to me, please.
Talon.
Tanil.
Tannel.
Auden.
I only remember the windless. Auden.
Auden. Winless. Wynlas.
Talon Auden Winless. Auden. Talon Auden Winless.
Think about how that feels to say it and look at me and understand that is who I am. Now, this is the tricky part. Speak my name in giant, please.
I'll say in giant. Talon Auden Winless.
Roll an Arcana check for me, buddy. We're teaching the mechanic at the beginning of the dungeon.
Do I have anything to Arcana? No. 14.
With a 14, you say the name, and you hear almost like reverb in your own ears, the name stretching a little, and feeling the truth in that, and understanding more of Tannel than you did before. Long before you showed up. You only managed to go back about 100 years or so, but you remember the others who have come here and trained and fought and thought themselves worthy of the weapons on that wall and were turned away. The ones that tried to sneak in and take what was Yati's without permission and without trade, and the ones that he mercilessly put down. And you understand more of his purpose. And you watch him kind of as you finish and ride out the rest of that breath, you say his name. That tension and resonance fades. He goes, not bad. You have the tongue for it. You did not get it perfectly, but you understand the gist, no?
Yes.
Good.
I'll have to practice conjugating my old giant.
Current giant will suffice, but I can lend you a text or two if you would like.
That would be lovely.
Very good.
The young giants using the words like yeet.
What is yeet? And
it's kind of like when you grab someone by the face and you throw them
why
by their
not
face.
Just use the word throw? It is a sufficient word.
I think because the vowels kind of speak a little louder. You can use a little bit more of like your diaphragm when you're saying it.
There's a good
yeet.
Oh, the T at the end does add a lot to that. It is a good yeet. One moment, please. I must test the theory. He walks over to a bunch of small axes along the wall, and he takes two of them, and he goes, unless you would like me to throw them at you, I would stand aside, please.
Stand aside.
And he, real quick, you barely see the motion. You just see the arm come up, and then you hear the thunk. He goes, tosses the other one to his hand. He goes, yeet! And wham! It sinks up to the eye in the wall. And he goes, that is good. It is very good. I must remember this. This is what the young ones are saying. Yeet.
Yeet.
That may prove useful. Thank you for teaching me.
You're very welcome. If I come across any other helpful youngling phrases, I'll be sure to bring them back.
Indeed. What's Adelaide been doing?
I imagine she's been munching on that pastry.
And who is she? He has not met. I don't believe he's met her. And is this your automaton?
This is my friend Adelaide. Adelaide, this is Tannel.
She kind of. He goes, it's good to meet you, Adelaide.
Adelaide is a spirit, kind of a demigod stuck in a parallel plane, who manifests herself through this doll.
That just happens to look like you.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. I met Adelaide after like a bar crawl, I'm pretty sure. And it was during a time of my life where I finally found a bunch of friends, but they all seemed like they wanted to leave. So it was a very emotionally stressful time for me where I kind of felt alone, even though all of my friends were still kind of there.
Oh, no. That is most tragic.
So I think she kind of stayed with me, so I would always have a friend.
Oh. Well, Adelaide, you are quite kind, and your visitation is most appreciated. You are welcome in my home. And Nana goes, thank you. You have a lot of really sharp things on that wall. And he goes, well, yes, this is my room. This is where I keep all of my sharp things, so I keep them in a safe place. She goes, those are really nice. Those are big swords. Ronan, those are your swords. What are they doing over there?
Found something a little newer, and I'll pull out the Kopeshes.
Ooh, curvy.
Would you like to hold them? I kind of.
I'm not gonna hold them, but can I touch them?
Yes, of course.
Kind of pops herself up and toddles over. this little rag doll, and she puts her hand on it, and she starts running her hand kind of over the runes and the blood, and she goes, "Oh, well, these are really old. They're older than you, Ronan."
And that's saying something, isn't it?
Yeah. They're not older than me, but they're kind of old.
Right.
Yeah, they're really cool. Are you gonna name them? All the really cool swords have names.
They might already have names.
Oh.
I kind of look back at Tannel.
They do. When you can read them, then you will know them. Let me get you that reference book. Come. I'm sure my husband will have... I should get back before my husband tries to abduct another party member. Also, I have not seen your dragon friend, and I'm worried about him.
Well, he's probably fallen asleep in a bowl of soup.
I hope not. If he gets soup on any of the books, I will take it out on his hide.
Well, Thalia knows prestidigitated.
Oh, good. She may be able to help clean up. Unfortunately, Yati is very protective of his books and would like to do things the old-fashioned way.
Fair.
It's a particularity he has. But shall we?
Shink.
Adelaide kind of holds up her arms to get picked up.
I'll scoop her up. Put her on my back.
She's kind of holding onto the Kopeshes as you walk. And as you make your way down the hallway, you do hear... you hear voices coming down these large hallways. You do hear Yati talking with Thalia. And as you come in, Thalia is handing over what looks like a work shirt. Like a comfortable, light work shirt back over to Yati. And he is very gently folding it up. But as he folds it, you realize it's not made out of fabric. You just hear this faint clinking of crystal as it folds over itself. But it keeps moving as if it's fabric. And he tucks it away. And Thalia, do you want to give the other memory as a crystal or as a story?
Whatever Yati wants.
It is your memory.
I, as a player, and I think her as a character, are fascinated with the idea that you can store visual memories.
Okay.
Because she writes so much down, and there's books and books and books. But the fact that there's a place where you can go and be the Empress and experience it from that point of, I think she and both myself are fascinated with that that mechanic.
Okay.
And so, if it's okay with him, she will offer to do a visual memory.
Oh, of course. He's folding that up. He's like, "Oh, these are just... It's wonderful to just hold the thing." And when... I've always found that when, for instance, the comb, I'd have to shrink down to use that because I don't have hair. But using that and just that combination of tactility is just so immersive, and it gives the object weight to it in a way that you wouldn't if you were reading or if you were having someone tell it to you. So activating all of the senses as best you can. Smell, as we all smell, is the most powerful of things, and it's the only one that can really reach back through time. Time, yes. I have information on that, but first, what do you want this memory to look like?
A piece of bark that almost looks like a plank, because I, as a player, also just remember that Evelyn and Adam are still here. but they were also they also were part of this thing. So she kind of wants to tie it to everyone who's here.
Okay.
She wants to tie this. I mean, we could do the whole power of friendship. Everyone put your hand on the object.
Put your hand on the crystal.
But I think she's thinking, a mix of the tree bark that they saw on the trees in that first show of power, but then also the floorboards that she knew wrote in the inn where Ronan left the message, and then the floorboards where Evelyn started to, like, she knows that legend started to spread.
Disperse the
so story. It's kind of that mix of a natural bark and
planks.
And plank.
Oh God, inspiration, please.
Natural planks.
And he again begins sketching. And Adam and Evelyn are nowhere to be found in this moment. But as he starts describing, Ronan, you and Tana walk in and he goes, I should find those two before either one gives us a reason to have problems.
Channel, apparently we're not supposed to talk. Otherwise, I won't leave. Ever? I don't know.
Darling, are you spreading rumors about me again? No, she's so smart.
It's nice to meet you.
She's just nice to meet you. Panel, can we keep her, please? She's so smart. She's so much smart. She's the most intelligent person to walk in here in the last 500 years. No offense to... We should go find them. But no, she's whip smart. And there's absolutely,
You'll enjoy the story I'm leaving behind. As he's walking.
Can we keep her, please? Tannel's like, no, she can stay of her own volition, but no keeping. Still, let me go get the other time that we kept somebody. He wanders out. And Yati, again, takes this page and sculpts it out. And Ronan, you get to bear witness to Yati's magic, Yati's creation. Huge gout of flame pouring over this desk. And it is pulled back in, and that large clawed hand reaching in, pulling out this plank, completely transparent but looking and feeling genuine. And he hands it to Thalia. Says the plank side will be... I like the idea of the ongoing portion of this story being contained in facets. Normally it would be something I would attempt to do myself, but I feel like you know the story, you know the separation of moments in it. So I will leave that to you. Nah, that was Tana, not Yati. That's on me. The voice sister.
You're gonna turn to Ronan. You want to help?
Sure, I don't
We're
know
leaving
how
a memory.
I can help.
We're gonna leave
a memory.
Yeah, we're gonna leave a memory of how the Cherry Fairy came to be.
That's a good one. Okay,
So,
how do I do this?
Okay,
Just put my
so
hands
why
here?
don't you? I think you know what'd be funny. Remember the first message you left as the Cherry Fairy?
Yes.
I think you should trace it with your finger on this side.
B-U-T-T-S. Butts.
And Ronan, as you finish pulling your finger away, you are remembering spelling out that story, spelling out butts and all those cherries, sneaking through Lythar, dead asleep in the room. This was before you had met Cora. This was before Cora was around. Because Cora would absolutely...
There was a time before Cora, that's right. The Acorn riddle where he kept asking everyone about
his nut problem.
His goddamn nut problem. But laying all these things out and sneaking into the room with this elf that you'd met when he pulled you out of a hole in the ground. And sneaking out of that room. And as you sneak away, Thalia, your memory of Evelyn. You being like, oh, everyone's heard of the Cherry Fairy, and Evelyn going, well, yeah, everyone knows about the Cherry Fairy. And the stories that you two spun in that bar, in the Twist and Shout, what feels like years ago. And then Thalia,
last week.
Thalia, your hand shifting over to the bark side and remembering coming out of your hut in the middle of this glade. That initial panic of, oh God, where are we? Smelling cherry blossoms, watching them drift by, and remembering that that was the kindest and gentlest night of sleep you've had in months. And finally, chatting with Lady Cost at Mayor Alvaron's wedding, and Ronan, your perspective being added in, remembering the discussion of this wild fae, unbeholden to any existing structure, this pure piece of chaos let loose on the world that you all started. You all believed in it, and the belief spread and created this thing. And the world, at least for you all, is better for it. And as that memory kind of comes to a close and you all settle back in, feeling... Ronan, it's a little disorienting for you, because you've only gone through this when you fell into Urgen's body at the Citadel launching day. But seeing this live edge piece of wood, now fully fleshed out and colored to look almost like real wood, except when you pull your hands away from it and your nail dings it, it rings and chimes a little. And as you both look up, Yati is leaned over the desk with his head in his hands, just watching. Oh, this is fantastic. Oh, I must thank Evelyn for bringing you all to my attention. This has been a most delightful experience.
As soon as Yati takes the word, she's gonna hug Ronan.
I was gonna hug you!
So
Come here.
cute, so cute it hurts.
I'm kind of gonna mutter under my breath, thank you for being my best friend.
I was gonna say that.
Ronan, you feel something bump up against your leg.
Okay. The hell is that?
There is an
Scritches.
orange striped cat, orange and white.
Wait! You're the Dick Wizard cat!
Can I pick? Can I look at the cat? Kind of like, can I pick you up? I pick up the cat.
Roll animal handling for me.
Oh no. Okay, could be worse. Could be worse. 15?
Pick him up.
As soon as it starts squirming, I would.
You pick him up, and he kind of just like, the purrs do get louder, and you start giving scritches, and just like full body shaking purr. And the cat just kind of looks over at Ronan. Just kind of looks very, very smug and satisfied getting pets right now. And he doesn't really squirm. He just kind of settles in and kind of hangs out. But does not really respond to your Dick Wizard comment. And I think...
How did you get here? As the camera pans out.
I'll set the cat down.
And cat kind of, as you kind of set the cat down, it wanders over, and Yati is folding stuff into a drawer, and he goes, "Now, yes, thank you for your charitable donations. Ronan, I believe Tannel has given his permission for those to leave. A trade has been made.
Is Tannel still here?
Tannel has wandered off to go gather the rest of them.
Yes, a trade has been made.
Excellent. I trust his judgment. Now, I'm hoping to gather everyone together because I have a theory about our time-traveling problem, shall we say. And if my math is correct, we have a deadline. And that's where we will wrap. Unless, Chris, you had something to say.
I was going to say, do you know Shara's full name?
What? No, if I did, I wouldn't. One, wouldn't tell you, and two, I would most likely be dead. But no, we are here to discuss the nature of time. And that is where camera will cut to black, and we will be back.
Do you know Lami's full name?
That's... No, why would I know that? But yeah, that's where we will wrap tonight. Thank you both for a wonderful game. Thank you for playing with me and just having a grand old time. It was lovely. Look at all this one-on-one time. It's amazing what happened.
So many feels.
Yeah, and thank you for being willing to bounce back and forth and give each other the limelight. It's one of the things I love about playing with y'all. It's great. Don't worry.
Goodbye, scavenged dwarven greatswords.
Don't worry, guys. Josh is going to get his turn next week.
Oh, God, you're going to make him talk by himself.
God. Yeah, we just get to watch.
Yeah, we're going to chat with him this week and figure things out with that.
We'll go have breakfast.
That being said, quick round of announcements. Tomorrow, 9 p.m., Fall of Mortu is in their penultimate episode. They have this one episode and then the finale. So keep an eye on that. It's a wonderful game with some wonderful players, and there's I've seen some of the shit that's coming down the pike, and it's really, really cool. So shameless plug for another show, and then I believe our next stream is actually still us next week. Because Chris, I don't know if Idiot's Guide is running.
I also don't know if Idiot's Guide is running.
So keep an eye on all the social media stuff, and we'll tell you when things are happening. But we also are putting events in the Discord so you can see when games are going live, and join in on us there. Again, thank you both for playing and having a grand old time. Thanks for helping me improv my ass off and coming up with some just fucking beautiful like chef kiss scenes. Oh my God, it was so good. And thank you, folks.
Man, I wish I could hug y'all.
Yeah, I do want to hug. Big.
Hug.
When 5% chance, this is all of your homeworks. All right, you guys have to go around and spread the word of 5% chance, so that way we can all grow up and live in the 5% chance house. And we'll stream every day, which means Curtis will never be able to sleep because he'll have to come up with all of this lore mumbo jumbo for every single day.
Oh, God.
It's in your hands to torture this poor man for the rest of time.
For the low price, I feel like.
For the low price
of a Twitch subscription. Give me your Bezos
bothering
bucks.
your friends into coming and watching.
What an oddly positive and welcoming plug. I'm here for it and also concerned. But
you won't have a choice. It's fine.
No. Thank y'all for for hanging out. Thank you in the chat for hanging out and going on this roller coaster with us. It was a lot of fun, and we will see you all back next week for a little more plot relevant episode. This kind of turned into a beach episode, but like full of feelings.
I didn't have a bathing suit.
Yeah, this was like the recap episode here.
Oh, okay. We did get a recap episode.
Yeah.
I did also
we need
appreciate...
a beach episode because I need another note in my book that just says Thalia has legs.
That's true.
I need another note in my book. That's the only thing that's on that page. It's
Thalia has arms. Like that's the next thing.
Thalia has
wrists.
Ooh, wrists.
Show the wrists.
Find it.
Naughty. Anyway, I just can't stop thanking people today. But that was a lovely game. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next week. Bye, all.
Bye. How much conditioner do they really use? Like,